You're listening to the IDP.
Oh, hello. This is Christopher Pudge LePage, and I am here with Mr. Josh Kimmel, fresh from Vegas on vacation. We had a little glitch, and we're still getting a little used to me hosting a show, but Josh will normally do all this stuff. But no further ado, let's start the show with Josh and I.
TGIDP, my friend. Thank God for IDP. Yeah, we are here every Friday night for the foreseeable future, and we're going to be talking IDP forever. Full disclosure, Pudge, not my thing whatsoever, but I'm here for it. I'm here to learn, and I encourage anyone that follows our show, follows our network, Fantasy Now Plus, or if you're on the Fins Talk Network side and you want to learn something new about fantasy, I encourage you to watch this show and try to learn something every day, because guess what? At one point, Pudge, people were playing touchdown only leagues, and then they merged to standard leagues, and then they merged to decimal points, and then it became PPR, and then it became Superflex. As so we true. All evolve, that's the way we go. We get bored with something and we evolve. So guillotine leagues are very popular now. Hell, I've been playing those for forever. We are constantly moving forward in the fantasy industry, in IDP. Not that it will catch on, but it's something that may catch on, and we're here to get you ahead of the curve early and often. So what's going on, Pudge?
Tonight it is pizza night at the household. We are now watching The Wolf King on Netflix in the house, and it should be a good night, except for it's 80 degrees out, and I wasn't thrilled about putting the AC back on.
Brother, listen, do you want me to leave the show right now? Because I will. It is like 100 degrees here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. It don't stop, brother. Summer, it's endless summer. That's one of our license plates here. You can get the vanity license plates. Endless summer is a real thing here. I hate it. I hate it.
Oh,
but let's not waste any more time, man. Like, we have a full breakdown that you actually rushed, and I'm interested to get your thoughts on these players and whatnot. But first, do you want to go back a little bit and talk a little bit about last night's game, or just get right into this? Right into it, man. No small talk. Let's get to business. It's up to you, sir.
What happened last night's game? It's last night. This is for the future. This is for the future.
What did the Lion King baboon say? Right? What did the lion? He said something about you don't look in the past or something, right? Something, I don't know. The past is in the past.
Why is the windshield bigger than the rear view? Because that's what's in front of you, baby.
That's right, and that's
what's in front of you.
Show. So
I need to get my shades because my future's so bright with these IDP picks.
I have a feeling this is going to be one of my funnest shows I do. I say that about every show. If you have not seen me on this network, then you're just not watching. We're live 7 days a week, 8 shows with podcasts on all of your podcasts. I guess providers, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I don't know. All of them, right, Pudge? All of them. So just check us out. Apple. There we go. I'm an Apple user. Are you an Androider?
I'm an Apple guy.
Good, smart. Just say next time. Just say I'm a smart guy. Sure. I'm a smart guy. Yeah.
Smartphone, smart guy.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny? We can't do this all the time, but back in my day, I think you're the same age as me. Apple only had a contract with I think AT&T, and I didn't have AT&T, so I didn't have the first iPhone. I had a stupid Android, and I was jealous of all my friends because all my friends were richer than I was. All my friends were, we're just going to switch to AT&T, and I'm just sitting here with my Android phone. But then they released an R2D2 Droid phone, and that phone trumped anything that iPhone could do because it made the R2D2 sounds, and the phone was literally an R2D2. If you haven't seen it, kids, it was my favorite phone of all time. Black and white. Screens, right? Displays. I'm old. So yeah, that's our Apple talk of the day. Screw Apple, bring back the Android R2D2 phones. I'm in for it. If you haven't seen it, seriously, look it up. It's awesome.
I will agree with you. I've never seen it, but
Well, I
That
encourage you to
doesn't
see
mean it doesn't exist.
something I don't really see a lot. Let's go back to fantasy is IDP leagues. Like I feel like they are coming up in this world. I feel like I've joined a lot this off season. So I'm really interested in getting some of these key players that we want to either pick up or look into for this week. So I'm going to leave it up to you, Pudge off the top. Who are we looking for right now in IDP for this week?
All right. So week one's in the books. IDP landscape. It's already shifting fast. We've already got Ed Oliver, who had 28.6 points last week. 2 sacks, 5 tackles. He's a crazy good defensive tackle for those NFL leagues that you can use him in. He's in a walking boot now. So when I say everything shifts fast, it shifts fast. He got stepped on by his teammate on Wednesday. He's in a walking boot on Thursday, and he's going to miss multiple weeks. But it's okay. It's okay because we've got Jordan Battle. Now, if you remember, Jordan Battle is a rookie. He's a rookie safety for where? The Cincinnati Bengals. The Bungles, they did something right with this guy. He got 12 tackles last week. That's crazy for a rookie safety. He's on my waiver ad list for this week for sure. Jordan Battle. Do you have anything about Jordan Battle and the Cincinnati Bengals that you want to say maybe about Travion Henderson? How he looked good?
I will say this. In my very small sample size of IDP, and Kyle, I do see your question in the chat. We will get to you as soon as we possibly can. This isn't a strict IDP show, but we can take some breaks to answer some offensive questions. If you're playing on a bad defense and you're a safety, is it normal to get 12 tackles? Because they're throwing it at you a ton of times. I think
exactly.
Right?
Not exactly.
Okay.
But
So explain that to me.
So for him, his in the box percentage was through the roof. That's what threw him up there in those top tier tackle percentages. You don't see a safety getting 12 tackles very often. Obviously, they played a run heavy offense over there. And they're going to continue to have that safety in the box because they have to with their linebacking core the way it is. But we did have some very bright spots over there. It looked like Hendrickson really took off right where he picked up right where he left off last year. And like I said, those safeties that are on really bad defenses, they're going to pull that safety up so the run game doesn't just destroy them in time of possession. So if you're going to be facing those 11-man personnels, that's what we call that, those offenses in that, you're going to want to use those type of safeties that are in the box like that. They're going to have those type of games.
It's like an Antoine Winfield, someone of that nature. That's who I
Deron Bland.
Okay.
He's a corner. He's a corner, but he plays that role. Derwin James does that. Yes.
He still plays football. That guy's awesome. Yeah. That guy is awesome. I remember watching him at Florida State. That guy was awesome, man.
He was great, and then he just kept on getting hurt. Now he's great again. So
he's great again. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, he was injured a lot. And I feel like there is and correct me if I'm wrong, Pudge, but I'm trying to learn this game as we go, as we do this show. It seems like the elite defensive backs, at least, not defensive edges, not linebackers, because those elite stay elite. But I feel like the cornerback position or the safety position, they're so interchangeable, as in 1 year, Jalen Ramsey is the most elite cover cornerback. Then we got Diggs. Then we got Surtain. It seems like it's an ever-revolving defensive back elite tier. So how do we keep up with that while playing redraft? Do they correlate from the last season to this season, or do we see that carousel of defensive backs?
You will see that carousel. That carousel change, and that's why a lot of people fade defensive back in IDP drafts because you don't know who's going to be the one. There's the top 7 guys, right? Every year. Those are going to be the safest guys, but IDP DB, unless they have a specific spot for corner, you're going to see a revolving door for a lot of those guys because they'll have different defensive coordinators. Like the Jets, they went from a huge zone scheme, to primarily man. I think they had the second most man percentage coverages last week, and that killed their linebacking core. Their linebacking core in man coverage, you don't want those linebackers. If you have a defense that's going to be playing primarily man coverage, like the Jets are doing now, with their new regime, you don't want those linebackers. Ultimately, you're going to want to go after a zone scheme where they have 2 set middle linebackers, and it's more like a 3-4.
Okay.
That's a little more in the scheme on and what you want to do towards that. I've got a little more scheme if you want to talk about it real quick.
Of course, let's get into it.
As far as you don't want to chase box scores either. Chasing box scores is a bad idea for IDP because the opportunity for them to get a sack or a interception or something like that is so hit or miss. It's a very low percentage.
Would you call it like a touchdown percentage? Because receivers are going to score 10 touchdowns. That's great. If a edge gets 12 sacks, that's a great season. So it's kind of like touchdowns, right?
You look at Jahmyr Gibbs. He had 16 touchdowns last year, right?
Yep.
Do you see 16 picks in a year? It doesn't happen. 16 sacks. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Those guys don't exist. So when they do happen, it's great and it's awesome. But you want to go after the guys that have the highest snap percentage, and their role is very, very clear in the defense. Those guys are the ones you want to target each and every week. You want the guys with 100% snap percentage. Edge, a really good edge percentage would be like 75, because those guys aren't in there every single down. They're not Nick Bosa. They're not Aiden Hutchinson or anything like that. I know I say a lot of defensive players from Detroit, but
hey, you know what? A trend on this show, I'm gonna be saying like, oh, you mean like a Vita Vea, or you mean like an Antoine Winfield? I'm not a Bucks fan, but I live here, so I kind of know their players very, very well. Speaking of elite players, and if you're watching this now and you're a Dolphins fan and you're watching on the Fins Talk Sports Network, you can close your ears. Quinnen Williams caught your eye. Freaking super stud. I love this kid when he was drafted. Don't love that he went to the Jets because I'm a Dolphins supporter, sympathizer, as you would call him these days. What caught your eye with Quinnen Williams?
If you look at his snap percentage and his pass rush, here, let me pull it up. I actually didn't have that ready, but I'll pull it up in a second. His pass rush percentage and his pass rush grade by PFF was through the roof. I think he graded out with a 76 with his PFF grade for his pass rush for a defensive tackle. That's insane. It's awesome. It's great. And he played almost all the snaps, which is awesome as well. There were some teams that had some low scoring defensive players, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Quinnen Williams also played a lot of snaps. Last week there was a offensive shortage on some teams. We had teams with only 45 defensive snaps total, and that's very low. That is a very, very low amount of snaps for a defensive unit to play. And a lot of the teams, I know Detroit was one of them. We had a couple of teams like San Francisco. Those teams had a lot of snap percentage, but they didn't have the opportunity. And I have a goblin around here. 1 second.
It's all good. I can fill in the void here. So that is you mentioned the 45 snaps or plays on a defensive last week. Now this doesn't count Monday Night Football because I was still in the air from the trip, so I didn't get to watch much of the Vikings game, and I forgot the score. But I believe every single game from last week hit the under, except for the Friday night game, the Friday night game. It's the only game that did hit the over last week. And continuing from last night, the total amount was 49. It still went under. So defenses are, I don't know if it's offenses or just going through, I don't know what it is, Pudge, but there's an epidemic right now with a bunch of unders. And take advantage of it while you can.
Well, I mean, I didn't catch the first part, but if you just look at the Bengals game, I mean, that game was horrible for anybody who played fantasy. Same with those guys over there in Philadelphia, the wide receivers. Anybody that had AJ Brown was terribly depressed the next day.
Very upset. But if you had Quentin Johnston last week, you were very happy. So let's get to Kyle real quick. I don't know if Kyle's still in here. He wants to know, and I understand this is an IDP show, but he did have a question. And if you have a question watching and it's not IDP related, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We'll go ahead and do our best to answer them. Shakir or Quentin Johnston? Who are we starting this week, Pudge?
For me,
I'm personally taking a shot at Quentin Johnston. I'm going to ride the lightning as much as I can. With Shakir in Buffalo, I believe he's coming off of an ankle sprain, I believe. I'm not sure how he is with his recovery or how good he is on that ankle. And they have a lot of mouths to feed over there. Yes, San Diego, oh my goodness. The Los Angeles Chargers have a bunch of weapons as well. But it looked like Quentin Johnston's going to be a much higher targeted person this season, as he should be. Whereas Shakir, I feel like he's just going to fall in the middle of the pack with that offense. So I'm definitely taking the high upset on Johnston.
I agree with you, and because of kind of the same reason. If you look at, they have Khalil Shakir, they have Keon Coleman, who rose from the dead last week. He played really well, and then they have a tight end. They have a Dalton Kincaid.
They don't have a Dalton Kincaid. Come on.
He rose from the ashes. He's a Phoenix. That might be his new name now. He is the Phoenix.
The Phoenix has died
Tucker
after
Kraft.
Don't get me started on Kraft. Bro, I'll get started on Kraft. Listen, Scott Fishbowl live draft. I said this story many times on this network, and I'm still appalled by it. I slapped Tucker Kraft's name on there round 10, and Jaden Reed was still on the board. Like, oh, you're not going to get the number one option in Green Bay. I said, I just did, homie. I just effing did, homie. If you look at my rankings, I have this guy like top 6 in tight ends. Get on the train, guys. Tucker Kraft is a thing. He always has been a thing. I'm telling y'all. But anyway, besides, I love that he balled out last night. I love that he went nuts. But let's get off the offense. Let's get back to business. Let's talk about who you should be racing to add before your league mates wake up. Who are we looking for in the waiver wire this week? Who's going to ball out this week for your team, Pudge? Give me the first guy.
So it was Ed Oliver until he had that mishap in practice. But one of my bigger ones is Jalen Hawkins. And to everyone's surprise, they cut Jabril Peppers and he replaced Kyle Duggar in that defense. He played 100% of the snaps at safety, and that is crazy to just come off out of nowhere like that, seemingly. Nobody really thought that he was going to be the guy, and then all of a sudden he came in and took that game over. He had a great box score, and he played 100% of the snaps. You've got Harold Landry. He's only 37% rostered. The guy had 90% of the snaps, which is exactly what you want, and he had 2 sacks. on that defense, he can be a very good disruptive guy, and a sack, while not likely, is very possible for Landry. He's got those chops. And then Marcus Sigel, he had 100% of the snaps. He's 0% rostered. And this guy is a deep league gem. He's out there in 100% of leagues. Go grab him. If you haven't grabbed him off the waiver wire yet, go grab Marcus Sigel. He is awesome. And then Drew Tranquil, he played in LA. He played for the Chargers for a while. He got his rubber match last week, but Drew Tranquil is an every down linebacker for a very, very, very good Kansas City defense. Their run defense is top 5 in the league. That's carrying over from last year, and they did the same thing again. They bottled up Marion Hampton that everybody was very giddy about. He had 10 tackles last week, and that's hard to replicate for sure. Deep stashes though for this week would be Chop Robinson. He should have a comeback game. He had very good measurables. And then Omar Spates from LA, the Rams. The Rams have a crazy good defense, and that offensive line for Tennessee is hot garbage, dumpster fire. Call the Coast Guard, call the Navy. Don't call the Marines or the Army or the Air Force, because I wasn't in those. But but seriously, Omar Spates could be a hidden gem this week if you need help in the linebacker position.
Right on, man. We do have a question in the chat. I just traded Cook. I'm assuming James Cook and Neighbors for Nico Collins and Bucky Irvins. But I'm going to let you get the initial thoughts on this one.
Cook and Neighbors for Collins and Irving. I'm sorry, Mr. Vengeance, but you got fleeced. Ooh. I don't like to say that a lot, but you got fleeced. Nico Collins is my biggest fade of the year. You asked the wrong guy that question. I have him as wide receiver 18. I don't have him as a top 5 guy like most of these analysts, or top 10. I love Neighbors. Neighbors is going to get volume, and he's going to get the stuff down the field. And then James Cook has zero competition in a very, very, very good offense. I don't believe that Bucky Irving is going to be what he was last year, simply because that offense doesn't have the guy. It doesn't have Cohen anymore. When it had their previous offensive coordinators, they were 21, 25th in the league for the offense. And their head coach is what? A defensive coordinator by trade. So unless they can get their act together, I don't see them being a top 5 offense like they were last year.
I'm not going to say you got fleeced, but I'm going to say I can see why you did it, and I don't have a problem with it. At the end of the day, I don't believe everything that we don't share the same beliefs, Pudge. I think that Bucky Irvin is fine. I think Bucky Irvin is a top 5 running back in this league. I have seen enough of Bucky Irvin to believe that he's going to be good. When you remove a Tristan Wirfs, who is the best player on your football team, from your offensive line, that's going to affect everybody. Last week, the Buccaneers struggled very, very, very much so because of that missing piece, their best player from their offense. Yes, Liam Cohen is gone. I understand that. We can only hope that Baker Mayfield took everything from Canellis and Liam Cohen and has retained it in his head and has moved on and can figure things out, because we saw it. Once he turned things on, he balled. It's only been 1 week. I'm not going to give up on Bucky Irvin or Nico Collins. Nico Collins is a super stud, and this is inconsistent as Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is a super stud, but he's also vastly inconsistent. If he doesn't, it's been proven by me multiple times, and other people as well. Not really. If Neighbors didn't have 100,000 million targets, guess what? He wouldn't have been better than Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison averaged more fantasy points per target than Malik Neighbors did last year. That's a fact. Simple math. If Neighbors isn't peppered a million targets, he is who he is. He is who we saw week 1. They have a very bad quarterback situation over there in New York. I'm not relying on Malik Neighbors as much as other people are. Unless Jackson Dart gets in there soon and balls out like he did in the preseason, I'm sorry, Malik Neighbors owners and rosters and managers. It's not going to be like last year. James Cook, I love the guy. He scores touchdowns. Like, that's all he does. He scores touchdowns. The Bills are moving the ball. They're going to score 40 points a game. I'm not worried about James Cook. So I can understand your thought process. I can understand Mr. Vengeance's process. Those are 4 studs, man. I'm sorry. Like, you can't go wrong. But I would prefer the other side. Half PPR, Marvin Harris. I mean, but he didn't get fleeced.
No, it's probably a very bad analogy, because if you look back at some trades and you say, "Oh my Lord, what happened here?" I've seen so many trades that to me they look, kittywampus. They're very off, but they turn out to be great for either one team or the other or both. So always keep trading. That's really the thing here is always keep trading, always keep looking at getting an edge. So yes, you're good for trying to get an edge there, but I side with the offensive line that doesn't have CJ Stroud running for his life every game.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That really is.
And Nico Collins is a field stretcher and a late breakout and a lot of other things that Malik Neighbors is not. And he's Malik Neighbors from LSU. Collins is from Michigan.
Oh, is that what
I'm
we're
a
going?
Michigan State guy.
Oh, okay, so that's where we're going. We're running. All right, I'm a Miami guy, so I guess any Florida State player ever sucks. All of them. Yeah, we're back, baby. We're back. Until they lose the USF this week. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I love Miami. I was a big Jeremy Shockey was my favorite player for a long time.
Really? That's awesome. I think my favorite player ever from Miami was Clinton Portis. Like ever.
Oh, okay.
Clinton Portis was awesome. Or Edgerrin James.
Sean Taylor.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Who doesn't love Sean? Miami's just the best college of all time. One more question. Mr. Vengeance did say he has Lamb, Collins, Metcalf, Kamara, and Irving. Like, that's a solid squad. Can't be mad at it. If Collins is your receiver 2, that's pretty good. Half PPR, are you going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. or the Rookie of the Year, Mecca Mbuka?
Half PPR. Man, this is tough. I'm going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. just because Evans is there this year. I don't think Evans is going to be there. If he's there next year, it'll surprise me. But there's going to be a lot of target competition coming up with Godwin after this stretch. For the long run, I would go with Marvin Harrison Jr., although I absolutely love Egbuka. You're not going to get 2 touchdowns out of him every game. If you take those away, he had a very pedestrian game. So, although it was a very good breakout game, rookie first game ever, awesome. 2 touchdowns. Nobody ever does that. Stick with Marvin Harrison Jr. Stick with the metrics.
If it's this week alone, Arizona, I don't know if it's a long-term question or if it's this week, because he said 0.5 PPR. If it is for this week, Arizona's going against Carolina at home, where Tampa Bay gets to go to Houston on the road on Monday Night Football. I will say the Buccaneers do struggle historically on Monday Night Football in prime time. So that's a huge factor. I know people I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. And I do think that the Buccaneers will struggle again. And I think they're gonna get upset by the Houston Texans, upset alert. So I'm gonna go Marvin Harrison this week against Carolina. It's just an easier matchup. Tampa on the road, Monday Night Football. I'm staying away from that game. Betting wise, fantasy wise, I'm just trying to stay away from that game as much as possible. Look at the Buccaneers history on Monday Night Football, Caden. I promise you're gonna be alarmed. And that's Todd Bowles. Okay. So let's get back on track with the IDP information. Roles have been changing, schemes have been shifting. What kind of players are we looking at? Who Jeremy Chin still plays football? Brother, you're going to hear this a lot from me for the first couple of weeks. Jeremy Chin has been the bane of my existence and the Miami Dolphins. Where is Jeremy Chin now?
Well, he plays for Vegas now, but it was Carolina, Washington. Now he's in Vegas. So as I was talking about, snap percentage, rules, everything. So his snap percentage was 100%. He played 100% of the snaps this past week. 45% of those were in the box. And those are all going to be tackling at the, at the line of scrimmage-ish. Those are going to be those type of plays. And he had a good blitz usage. So all that combined, his role with the Vegas Raiders is going to be pretty darn good for the rest of the year if he maintains this role, which I don't see him losing to the Palo Mo. I don't know how to say his name. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Good luck with me, brother. That's my gimmick. Stop stealing my gimmicks, man. I don't know how to pronounce anyone's name.
But then down in New Orleans, you got Pete Werner, who's Pete Werner, right? Does anybody know who Pete Werner is? Nobody knows who Pete Werner is.
He is Kurt Warner's long lost cousin.
It's spelled different, but that's okay. He's his kicked out cousin, twice removed. But they got him and Demario Davis down there. And what did I say about zone schemes? Those zone schemes that they brought in New Orleans are benefiting those two fellas. Those two fellas are going to get all of the tackles. The defensive tackles are not going to do anything. They're just going to clog up space. The ends, they're going to rush, probably 35% of the time, and then they're going to either drop back or maintain their lanes. Those two guys are going to eat up all the tackles. And it really, really is beneficial to pick up Warner. He's cheap, and he's 0% rostered. It's going to be a good year for him. If you need LB2 help, he is your LB2 to pick up this week. I've got Jermaine Pratt, and I really thought Jermaine Pratt was going to be a big pickup for Vegas. Vegas traded for him with the Bengals. So I thought they had something vested, even if it was a low draft pick. But they moved him to the line, and he lost his linebacker value. So he's a big fade. His role has changed, and he is very droppable. You can drop him in all formats. He's not a dynasty stash or anything like that. And then one of the biggest surprises and maybe defensive comeback player of the year, Hassan Reddick. This dude killed it. I mean, absolutely balled out. He's going to be buying Lamborghinis and doing all kinds of fun stuff next year when he gets that pay raise. He had a 73.2 pass rush grade last week. That's unheard of. It is absolutely unheard of. If he is still available, he should have been on your roster Wednesday. I put it into my article. Hopefully you got it, but if you didn't, a lot of these names will be on my Tuesday articles that I drop, so you can get a little bit ahead of the game, and then we'll go over them a little bit more on Fridays. But this guy is an absolute machine. He's going to be in the backfield. He's going to get the QB pressures. I know a lot of fantasy teams or fantasy leagues that actually value QB pressures as a stat. So you should be picking him up in every format possible. And then, this is where film study meets fantasy. It's like the scheme will tell you everything you need to know. Scheme fits this year, and I'm going to add one in here for you. I didn't put it in the show sheet because it's near and dear to my heart, and it's Aiden Hutchinson. He is got all of the underlying metrics that you want out of an edge rusher. They are dropping him on third down. They dropped him 3 times into zone coverage on third down. I don't believe that's a winning formula. He got 0 sacks. He got as many tackles as you did last week. It was sobering to see our best defensive player, other than not named Brian Branch, dropping into zone coverage on third down when he should be rushing the passer. I don't know what Kelvin Shepard is doing, but if you want to bench Aiden Hutchinson this week and start one of the guys I mentioned, especially Hassan Reddick, I would do that. Obviously, don't drop Aiden. I think they'll get that scheme fixed by the end of the year, but it's going to be tough sledding with Aiden dropping in coverage and trying to cover tight ends and running backs and not rushing the passer, what he's getting paid to do.
That is weird. Your best player and what he's known for. It'd be like, hey, Mike Evans, you're gonna play running back. What do you mean? No, you're good. You're good. Just do a reverse, Mike. Like what?
I was absolutely. They did the same thing with Marcus Davenport. Those are edge rushers, guys. I understand you're trying to get cute. Maybe once a game, but 3 times you don't get many 3 down. They had 42 chances. They had 42 snaps. And on 3 of those third down snaps, they dropped them in coverage.
Oh my goodness.
Same old Lions.
Hunter is watching on the YouTubes and wants to know, is Tyreek worth the flex spot this week, or Quentin Johnson, or Stephon Diggs?
That's a good question. Oh, man.
So Miami and New England plays each other. Just that's a full disclosure. So we know those matchups and the
divisional game.
Divisional game. And the Chargers are playing the late Monday night game that I'm going to protest at Las Vegas, because if you're watching football at 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast, you're a psychopath, and you can just catch it in the morning. Psychopath. Okay.
You don't have small children.
There is there was a players only meeting already in Miami, which is not good. Ungood, actually. Tyreek is already, what the kids say, crashing out on the sideline. I am not touching Tyreek Hill with any feet of poles. Any of them. 10 feet poles, 20 feet pole, nothing. I don't want Tyreek Hill on my team. And I'm a Miami Dolphins supporter, sympathizer. I don't even want him on the Dolphins anymore. I'd be okay just cutting him at this point. To be completely honest, he has nothing to this team.
I said that and people ridiculed me.
When did you say it?
You and I said it.
You did. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did say it. Yeah. But now that we see real games in how he is and how he's going to act, get out of here. And Hunter's in Vegas. I was in Vegas last week. I stayed at the Plaza downtown. I heard on the plane, by the way, on the way home from Vegas, somebody behind me was making fun of Old Vegas, downtown Vegas, where I like to go. And he's like, "Oh, I know why they call it Old Vegas, because that's where all the old people are." You're damn right. I don't want to walk.
No way. That place it's awesome.
I don't want to walk 2 hours just to get out of Caesars, because it takes forever to get out of these casinos on the main strip. Downtown's awesome. I can hit up Binion's. I'm going to the Plaza, going everywhere in like less than 30 seconds. Screw the Strip. The Strip is the worst. Downtown is where it's at, except for those street people. I can't stand those people. Take a picture with me. Yeah, get out of here, lady. But anyway, back to this game. Stephon Diggs, I expect him to step up in this offense. I don't think that we're going to see DeMar Douglas command all these targets. I don't think that Drake May is going to continue to struggle, especially against this Miami Dolphins defense. Let me remind you, Daniel Jones was a killer last week, as we all predicted. No, we did. Go look at the rankings.
Not a sponsor. Daniel Jones, not a sponsor.
Here we did, though. Here at Fantasy Now Plus, we did have Daniel Jones in the top 10. So you're welcome.
Did.
Yes. I think it was just me and you, by the way. I think it was just us two. Everyone else was scared. I also had JJ McCarthy top 10. No one else did, though. No one else did. But anyway, besides the point, they're playing Miami. I'm going Stephon Diggs here because of the matchup with the Miami Dolphins, and that's it. Quentin Johnson was cute, but remember Isaiah Likely? I'm not falling for that trap again, Budge. Not when they have Lab McConkey, a better option. Not when they have Omari Hampton, who didn't get going. Not when they have Justin Herbert, who can spread the ball around. That's not going to happen again. I'm sorry to break it to everyone who spent $25-$30 on this guy. It's Isaiah Likely all over again to me, so I'm not feeling the Johnston love. Downtown is a local treat, too. I went to Tony Roma's for the $19.99 steak and lobster, and the lady was mad because I ordered ribs. She was so mad. I stood in that line and said, I don't need your steak and lobster. I want the ribs. She was so mad. Oscars, I went to Oscars last year. Hunter. It was awesome. It was above the plaza. You're right. Last year, I stayed in the Golden Nugget. This is a Vegas podcast now. Vegas. What's your number? If you play roulette, what's your number? Black 29 is mine. I hit it so many times last week. It saved my ass. Like, I was down to my last $16 at the D. Last $16, Pudge. It's a $15 limit. I ordered a Miller Lite. I said, I'm saving this one chip because I just blew $100 in like less than 30 seconds. So when this lady comes back with my Miller Lite, I'm saving this chip for her. Put $15 on the table. Black 29 hit. I had like $5 on it. Black 29 hit again, back to back. I hit another number with just one chip on it. I kept like $5 on Black 29. Hit it again. 3 times in 4 spins, bro. I was high on life. The D is where it's at. Just let everyone know. I'm still dreaming about that moment.
Stop chasing box scores is the moral of the story here. Don't chase the box scores. Go with the underlying metrics and the process.
Stephon Diggs. That's the answer. Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs against that Miami defense. That's to me, that's a no-brainer. But I see the huge man. He has those games where he erupts and he does this to us, and then next week he's going to disappear. And
Walls,
he's going to become Casper the Ghost.
He is. Walls, we are taking questions, and I want to bring that up. Last night's game, people were very excited for this Bill guy. This was Commanders running back. People were like, oh, look, I thought he was a 4th-string running back. Looked pretty good week 1. Didn't look too good last night. Week 1 is always such a surprise. And it's such
Look what Green Bay did to the Detroit Lions rushing attack. Like they stifled 2 of the best rushers in the league. So throwing Austin Eckler out there, which he tore his Achilles, that stinks. But so Bill out there might have a good game coming up. But
maybe.
Chris Rodriguez was a healthy scratch, and
maybe
that whole thing. Jeremy McNichols, it's just it's a mess. They traded away their best running back. I don't know what's going on over there.
Traded away their best running back and have a bunch of bums. It's awesome. It's great. It's good times. Yeah. Yes, Walls, if you want to throw in a question, you can. But you want to get back to the IDP. We're going to go for hours. We're going to be a marathon. Remember that marathon we did 24 hours? That's our shows.
It's going to be good. Hey, you think it is, but it's not. It won't be. We'll truncate it.
We just have a lot of fun.
Speaking
of, that's my point. Go ahead.
This is a great segue. Bill is, Krosky. He is a great breakout candidate. Now I've got some rookie breakouts that could be great stashes this year or streaming potential. It's going to be Billy Bowman. He's got the slot cornerback role locked up. He's going to be a good streamer if you need cornerback help. If you start cornerbacks, Demetrius Knight Jr., rookie for the Cincinnati Bengals. I know I've said their name on defense way too much because their defense stinks, but he had 10 tackles last week on that zone defense. You're going to see a very, very, what's that? Repetitive trend. Zone defense, box percentage, and defensive snap share rules IDP. It will rule any one of your leagues. If you go look at those metrics, you're going to figure out who is the man. That said, Jihad Campbell for the Philadelphia Eagles, who I don't know how he fell to them at 32 or 31. They moved up one, but he had 91.8% snaps. He didn't have a great box score, but with that snap share next to Zach Bond, it's going to be awesome. He's going to have one of those games where you just look at his box score and he has 2 QB hits, forced fumble, and fumble recovery, and he's got 30 points on the board. And you're like, who is this guy? Well, yeah, he's Jihad Campbell that you should have been adding after week 2. And then you got Tyke Smith. Tyke Smith is a safety. He had 39.2 of the box snaps. He had 8 targets his way. And you don't get that a lot for a corner. Now, those types of corners are good to have. You kind of want the crappy corner because they get picked on. And those are the guys that get the pass defense, and you're going to get a big stat for it. We had 8 targets his way, and you better believe that they're going to pick on him again. And a few of those are going to be either defensed or broken up, or if you're lucky, get an interception. But snap share is the absolute most predictive metric you're going to run into. So if you look at the snap shares, if you have Sleeper, go into your Sleeper app. You can sort by snap share. That's a little hint, wink, wink. You guys that don't want to go through the meticulous, the rigorous looking through every single team. There's 32 teams and there's 11 players on defense, and it just gets kind of ridiculous. I don't know why I do this, but it's fun. But these next players are going to be the players that you can just
Can we get to Walls? Because Walls is a new listener or a new face.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get the Walls question because I just said yes, we answer him, and he or she asked the question. So full PPR. My wide receiver room, who should I start? London, Garrett Wilson, Higgins, or Hill? I need to know how many you need to start. But if it's a normal league like 2, it's G Wilson.
I'm going in that exact order. If we go that way,
perfect order. Yeah,
that's the perfect order for me. Yeah, because I go ahead.
To me, I'm moving G Wilson up. I'm moving Garrett Wilson up. I said this on my Monday show. Garrett Wilson is a superstar. Start treating him like a superstar. Top 3 and top 5 in targets since his draft day. Since he's been drafted, he's a target monster. Nothing has changed with Justin Fields. He only looked for Garrett Wilson. I'm a huge Garrett Wilson mark. Always will be. I'm probably his biggest fan. I've always has been. So yes, Garrett Wilson's number 1. And yes, Drake London, he's just a super stud. You got to start him. Higgins is hit or miss, and Hill, I told y'all, if I'm the Miami Dolphins in real life, I'm just cutting him. I'm literally just cutting that guy. Get out of here. So yeah, don't overthink it.
Yeah, I would go in that order, and to hit on Garrett Wilson, I'm a big, huge Garrett Wilson guy. That's his college quarterback. So they already have a repertoire. You might as well, just keep riding that. I think that they're going to be a good 1-2 punch all year long. They made a very good, vaunted Pittsburgh defense look very, very vulnerable. Hard thing to do. First and foremost.
Yeah.
So
Again, it's week 2. I know that they're playing Minnesota. Atlanta is. Brian Flores is one of the best defensive coordinators in the game. I'm not really worried about London being shut down, but I can see a situation where Penix struggles this week. But even if a quarterback struggles, a receiver can still go off. So I'm not really worried about that. So yeah, definitely Drake London over the other two. Who is Cincinnati playing? I forget. I try not to roster any players from Cincinnati. Jacksonville, Duval.
yeah, Jacksonville's in for it this week. So
Yes, sir, Walls. Thank you so much for watching, man. I really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, we have a kick butt team. We are live 7 days a week, 8 different shows, and we are live and we're putting out shorts. Go to our website, Fantasy Now Plus, if you want our articles. Pudge puts out a great IDP article. We have an underdog article. We have everything you could possibly want at Fantasy Now Plus. .com. If you're watching on Fins Talk Sports Network, we really appreciate you. If you want the best Miami Dolphins coverage, go over to Fins Talk Sports Network or Fins Talk Extra. They have a lot of football shows over there. I actually host a wrestling show over there on Fins Talk Sports Network. So if you're into wrestling at all, pro wrestling that is, you can see me talk professional wrestling as well. If you're into that kind of thing, make sure you join our Discord. It's chat.fantasynowplus.com. If you want instant access to people like myself, Pudge, Justin, Sean, the smart guys, right? We're in tiers. The smart guys, Will, Brian, those are the smart guys. We're like the cool guys. We're cool, right? Pudge, we're cool.
We try to be.
I think we're being cool. Through.
I think you and I are the oldest ones on
yeah, we definitely are. We definitely are.
So
we go join our Discord.
We got some gray.
No, I have a bunch.
Mine's
of
all gone. So
we could do all the questions in the world, Balls. We really could. So
Hawkinson, Sunday at 11. Actually, Justin will be making. Justin will be cooking, and I will be answering start sit questions.
You're committed to the Sunday thing? That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Every Sunday at 11.
Sunday. That's
Every
great.
Sunday
So
at 11.
Last second questions. Always tune into Fantasy Now Plus on the YouTubes, as we will be answering your questions, or Pudge will. But for right now, he has Hawkinson and Evan Ingram. He wants to start Hawkinson, but he's nervous. Or would you be nervous as well? I am.
Well, Ingram didn't do anything before he went out and got hurt again. I do love Evan Ingram, though. I have a strong love-hate relationship with this man. Hawkinson, I think he'll have a bounce-back game. I really do. They're still without Jordan Addison. It'll be J.J. McCarthy. It'll be Hawkinson and J.J. I think will be the primary guys involved this week. So, and if you look at Chicago's defense, they have a big they get after the quarterback. So it is not easy for a redshirt rookie right off the rip to go against a division rival that has a bunch of guys that are just designed to sack you and or pressure the quarterback. So you should be okay with Hawkinson this week, in my opinion.
I'd be confident as well. You made some great points. And guys, JJ McCarthy didn't really get heated up until about the fourth quarter, I feel like. I don't expect that to happen every single game. When he gets hot early, it's going to be fun to watch. I love JJ McCarthy. So I'm okay with TJ Hawkinson. And I Evan Ingram, man. I have a hate relationship with that guy.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit.
All right, let's get back to some IDP stuff. Pudge,
so
what do we got?
We've got guys that we should be just getting rid of. Get them off your roster. You got EJ Speed. Cut him. He had 5% of the snaps last week. Kyle Duggar actually started the game and they pulled him. And that's when they put in Jalen Hawkins and replaced him for the rest of the game because he is hot garbage. Jack Sanborn, everybody thought he was going to be the next guy up in Dallas. No, he wasn't. And his role is gone, is diminished, and he is cuttable. Abdul Carter, I know that everyone had big, high hopes for Abdul Carter, but for rookies to come out like that is very few and far between. It's kind of like tight end in on the offensive landscape. Those guys that come out as rookies are very, very special people. I know we've been blessed. We've been, Brock Bowers and all these other guys. The Aiden Hutchinsons in the world, that come out and have a rookie year like he did, they don't exist very often. And I know Abdul Carter was the creme de la creme, top tier guy. His role is firmly behind Thibodeau, and it's going to stay that way probably for the rest of the year because they spent just as much draft capital on Thibodeau. So those are my cuts, fades. Frankie Louvu last night. I know this. I forgot that there was a Thursday game. We do this on Friday, but he's got volatile usage. The way they're using him, and he is being sent after the quarterback. Well, he got sent after the quarterback 16 times the first game, and he had 0 QB pressures, which is very concerning to me. If you go after the quarterback specifically, that is your one job, and you don't pressure him once, that's very concerning in my book. And then you got to target the O-line weaknesses for the sack upsides. Those are going to be teams like Tennessee. You're going to get the Bengals in this. I'm sorry, Justin, but the Bengals offensive line is it's up for discussion right now. They have all that firepower, but if they don't have time for Burrow to do anything back there, they're going to be in a world of hurt. But Tennessee, Houston, Cincinnati, those teams are going to be the teams you want to target your pass rushers for those streaming weeks if you need to stream. And then so for you, do you have any idea who CJ Gardner-Johnson is?
Yeah, I know CJ Gardner-Johnson. No, hey, I know some I know some defensive players, and I'm learning. But yeah, CJ Gardner-Johnson, he's a cornerback for the Detroit Lions.
No,
dang it, he's a cornerback though.
He's a safety.
Whatever. Aren't they the same now? It's kind of like basketball. Like, oh, he's a center. He's a shooting guard. No, they're all just basketball players.
He's
now.
a power forward. No, it's not.
It's a deep.
No, all right. So I'm truly a believer that CJ Gardner-Johnson and Jalen Petre. So Jalen Petre is their normal safety. They brought in Gardner-Johnson. This is for Houston. They brought in Gardner-Johnson this offseason. And guess what? He took Petre's spot. His underlying metrics are that of a starter. I know Petre had a better box score, but you're going to want CJ Gardner-Johnson moving forward. And then Devontae Wyatt's role post Kenny Clark. It's going to be Devontae Wyatt as far as that's concerned. And then you might know this. You might know this because he's on your team, Tampa Bay.
It's not my team, brother. I live here. I unfortunately have to listen to their sports talk radio.
Is it Servosia Dennis?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Servosia. You nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it.
Servosia Dennis is going to be a menace moving forward. They're back. Their defensive coordinator / head coach is being very, very friendly to those middle linebackers. Devin White and Savosia Dennis are two very good streamers for the next upcoming game. And then I don't have much else. That's what we've got for today.
Yeah, man. It has been a great show, as in I'm learning a lot, and I promise everybody watching right now, if you come back next week, I'm gonna know every single player because I don't know
I'll every single player.
But I'm gonna play Madden after this, I promise you. And Madden is how I used to know all the players, because guys, I'm old and I love IDP. I'm just now learning it. And if you're just now learning it with me, please watch this show with us. What's going on, dude? You can't hear me because you don't have headphones, but future IDP player right there. If you want to learn about IDP,
go ahead.
Please
go upstairs, please.
Watch us, because that's what I'm doing here. That's why I volunteered to do this show with Pudge, because Pudge needed somebody to guide the ship. And I said, I'll guide the ship as long as you teach me how to play IDP. So that's what we're doing together. Let's learn together. Let's be together and win together. Thank you all for watching again. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Like it. Let us know down in the comments below, because we always look who, if you're watching this afterwards, of course, who are your IDP studs? Who are you excited for? Do you have start-sit questions? Daniil Hunter versus Kenny Britt. I'm just naming two random defensive players. Let us know down in the comments below who you have questions on. Make sure you join our Discord. Chat.fantasynowplus.com. It's in the description below. We're running a DraftKings contest. That is also down below. We need 40 entrants, so 40 of you. It's only $2 to join the contest. You get to play against myself, Pudge, and everyone else at fantasynowplus.com. Make sure you use our underdog code. What? We're partners with Underdog. Who would have thought? What? Yeah, the grind was definitely worth that. So play 5, get 50. Use promo code FN+. Haters gonna hate, but yeah, Underdog's a great format. I use it down here in Tampa Bay because I'm allowed to. In Vegas, you're not allowed to in Las Vegas. So I apologize for that. Any more plugs we need to get to, Pudge? Catch you when can we catch you next?
You can catch me Sunday at 11 with Justin Barberly.
That's right. And you can catch myself after week 1, Monday morning here, 9 a.m. for cold brews and hot takes, where I will give you all the takes you need from the weekend. So with that being said, Pudge, it's been a great show. Can't wait till next week. Get us on out of here, buddy.
Have a good night and see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.